Ciao, everybody. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. I'm Julian Gennady, and today is a New Year's Eve special youth report for Juventus's youth products that are coming up the pipeline at the Juventus Next Gen, U19 Primavera, all that stuff, and making their way onto the first team. As we know, I have about 6 or 7 names that we're going to go through, some analysis, some stats, what I think the odds are going to be for them making the first team, and will they be with Juventus in the future as a key component. Stick around and you'll find out. And now that you're back, welcome back. And we're going to go alphabetically here because that's what we do. We like to keep it nice and concise. We got Barbieri on our right-hand side of the screen. And basically with him, he's a right wing back, Italian. He came through the youth setup as well. Like, we didn't buy him from anybody, sign him on a free. Barbieri is a guy who's very industrious, likes to get up and down the pitch, can defend fairly well for his standard right now. He's about to sign a new contract as well. I think he's the next one up to get signed to the first team directly from our youth program, just because of numbers in that position. Quadrado, right wing back. We don't have many other ones at that position, so it only makes sense to grow through osmosis and just get him up to the next level for free. Basically, all we have to do is bump his salary up, and he'll be part of the first team in the future. Now, will he be good enough? Time will tell. Recently, you watched the Christmas preseason period, Arsenal, Riccio, and Standard Liège. He didn't do many things wrong. He didn't stand out in particular, but he didn't do many things wrong. He didn't put a foot wrong. And I think as an up-and-coming right wing back, that's all you can ask for. So I like his chances of becoming a first-team player. And when I say first team, a U23 player. Or, sorry, not a U23, a 23-man roster player. So I like Barbieri's chances. I know Justin loves this kid, so he's going to be sticking around for a while, I believe. Now, will he be a starter? Time will tell, like I said, but I like his chances to be on a 23-man roster in the upcoming future, especially once his new deal kicks in. So next, we're going to go with Enzo Baronachea. As you can see again, right-hand side of the screen. I like to call this guy a Leandro Paredes Wish.com player. Right now, he has very similar characteristics to Leandro Paredes. Do people want that? I know people don't rate Paredes right now because of how he's performed and his injury status at Juventus, like a lot of players at Juventus recently. But similar role, holding midfielder, destroyer type player, can't really pass a ball long. That's my biggest gripe with him. I don't see Baronachea becoming a first teamer at Juventus. Now, will he be on the team for a couple years, just on the outskirts? Maybe, probably. But I see this guy leaving in the future. Could he forge a good career? Yeah, he probably could. He could probably be a top tier league kind of guy, only because he's very aggressive in his tackling and his ball retention is pretty good. But for Juventus, I think we have a lot of midfielders now. Like, again, I haven't even included Ravella in this. I haven't included Fagioli in this. A lot of young midfielders that are doing well. I think Baronachea is just going to be the odd man out in this situation. No fault to him. Again, lots of players in this position. But for me, I don't think Baronachea makes it. I don't like his range of passing, but he will be a decent player at a top 5 league level. So whether that's bottom tier Serie A, Spain, whatever, I think he'll be there, but not at this club. Next, we're going to move on to HUIJSEN. And Ale taught me the Dutch pronunciation of it before, but I forget. I'm going to say HUIJSEN. This guy, elegant. That's the best word I could use to describe him. Very elegant on the ball. His positioning is pretty good. The biggest thing with him, and he is young. This guy's the youngest guy on the list, I'm pretty sure. I think he's 17. The biggest thing with him is he needs to bulk up. So we know that he played in every single match in the Christmas preseason period. Again, Arsenal, Riccio, and Liège. He looked fine, obviously, because against Arsenal too. But Riccio and Liège, he was not trouble at all. He looked calm on the ball. His range of passing is freaking great for a 17-year-old center back. elegant. That's how I'm going to describe him for now. If he stays, and there's talks of him renewing his contract to 2025, I can see him pushing first team opportunities in 2 years or so. I don't see him getting in the first team the rest of this year. I don't see him getting in the first team next year. Maybe in 2 years. Maybe the 2025 season, I can see him being a squad member of the first team. But for now, he's a bit too young, a bit too, not out of shape, a bit too skinny to be a proper center back at a top club. So again, with him, I see a future. But for now, I say bulk up, buddy, and get better in that sense. Go get the Bremer special. But I do see this guy playing on Juventus for a long time, if he wants to, of course. If he continues to re-sign his contract. Next is, of course, probably the third best story from the Juventus Youth Project in the past couple of years. It's Sam Milling. We know who this guy is. We know what he's all about. He's decisive. He's quick. His crosses usually always meet someone at the end of them, or always have someone meeting it at the end of them with the cutbacks. He likes to beat his man. Defensively, if he's going to be in a 3-5-2 as a left wing back, he probably could upgrade his defensive awareness. Again, he's young. It's going to happen. It's going to take time. But I like the way Allegri's going, his mindset to use Illing. He's not going to start games, which is fine. Kostic can start. I don't know. Chiesa might be able to start left wing back. But with Illing Jr. coming off the bench, you inject pace, you inject creativity, you inject some youth, you inject paciness. I like it. I like it for now. He is a first teamer. He signed, the Juventus account literally said when he renewed, he is going to be joining the first team permanently. So he made it. He got up. He made it. Good for him. You know what he's all about. Will he be a starter? And that's the main thing. Will he be a starter for Juventus in the future? Kostic, 2 more years left on his contract after this one. If Illing wants, he can be. If Illing wants to stay at Juventus, he can be a starter. If he wants to go to the Premier League, which I don't blame him, he's English, and that's probably where his heart is. That's the only worry I have with this guy. I think he will be a very good player in the future. I'm scared for Premier League pull. And again, I don't blame him because he's English. So, Junior, you made it, buddy. We'll move on to the next guy now because that was pretty obvious. Now we got Mbangula, and this guy in particular hasn't quite played many minutes for the first team, even in the preseason, in the summer and the Christmas preseason. But he is dominating and balling out in the youth levels. The youth league, the Champions League for the U19s, he's balling out against PSG and Benfica. Against in the Primavera, he's done well as well. I think he has 8 goals total in about 18 games and about 3 assists. So he's doing well for himself there, the Belgian. This one's tough because he's so young and he hasn't been really he hasn't been really playing with the first team. There's talent. There's lots of talent with this guy. I'm scared that he will get put to the side because of other players that are up in the pecking order right now. Will he get an opportunity? That's the biggest thing. You got Vlahovic, you got Keane, Milik. They're all under 30, especially Vlahovic and Keane. They're like 23 each. Suly's there up top. If they're going to use Chiesa up top, then Di Maria's still there. Can he be Di Maria's replacement in the future? Again, who knows? It's too early to say. In this particular case, it's too early to say. I'm going to say he doesn't make it. And I don't want to be negative because the dude is talented. But how many players could we possibly have on a 23-man roster? Not every single one of these players is making it. And I've already said Barbieri will make it, Hujsen, Junior, and there's a couple other guys to come as well that I haven't even talked about yet. And Mbangula, like I said, very talented, can strike a ball very well. But there's a lot of competition at the club. and he still has to grow as a player. Again, he's 18. We haven't seen and there's Keenan Yildiz. I haven't even mentioned. I haven't even put him on this list yet because he didn't play with the first team at all. There's a lot of competition, so we'll see. We're gonna move on to pretty much a mainstay. I include him because he's under 20 years old, but it's Moretti, first teamer. He's already on the first team. I don't think his position is as a starter is as locked in as we thought last year. I think he struggled a bit this season. I don't think that's a hot take at all, but I think he has struggled a bit to keep up with the pace and to consistently play professional football. Not his fault. He's 18, 19 years old. Not everybody's Pedri. Not everybody's Gavi. So it's fine that he's had this type of start to this season in particular, but you can see his intelligence. You can see his quality on the ball. It just has to all be consistent. It has to all click at the same time. And I can see that happening with him. I think he'll be at Juventus for a long time. Again, it's basically if he wants to leave, he'll leave. But I don't see him leaving. I see him being here for a while. So, and he's already made the first team. So this is a no-brainer for me. Next is another kind of fun player that people don't know much about, and it's Nanga. This guy is a rock solid stud. And I know he hasn't played much for the first team, similar situations in Bangula, but this guy's talent is undeniable at his position as a midfielder. He could do everything well. He's young. So again, opportunity, what kind of opportunity is he going to get here? But I think if he goes to a team, if he leaves Juventus for whatever reason he chooses, I think he'll become a world beat. I think he'll be a very, very, very good player. Because if I call a world beater and he doesn't become one, I'll look stupid. But I think he'll become a very, very good player. He ticks all the boxes: passing, dribbling, tackling, control, range of passing, defensive awareness, attack, for his position, attacking awareness, getting the ball to the right person, quick touches, getting the ball, moving it. Strong already. So I like this guy a lot. I like him more than Baronachea, which I think is obvious the way I'm talking about him. But I think if he gets an opportunity, and he'll take it as well. So watch out for Nanga in the future. I'm about 50-50 for him on being a Juventus player in the future. But if he does get an opportunity, I think he'll take it and he'll make the team. And he'll be a starter in 2 or 3 years. Sorry, 4 or 5 years. It's all about patience, though. Next, we got a guy who came out of the blue, kind of. And it's Riccio, center back. He played over the Christmas preseason. Very smart kid in terms of defensive awareness, always in a good position. Is he the best passer of the ball? No. Is he a loose cannon? No. But he's very hard-headed, very tackle-oriented, contact-oriented, and he's got good positioning. He reminds me of a little bit of Gatti, but a little bit of less loose cannon. So he's not going to fly into tackles, but he will be hard. He will be hard to play against. He's solid. I can see him coming into Juventus as a 4th or 5th choice defender and then maybe working his way up. But I think he'll be one of those Rugani type players in terms of he'll be 4th or 5th choice in the future. I don't know if he'll be able to make a starting position in the future. But I do like him. And finally, another no-brainer, Suly, Matthias Suly. Just don't play him right wing back and play him anywhere up top, and you'll see what he can do. Right wing back against Arsenal and Rietzka is probably not the place to put him, but then you saw a second half against Liège, and he cooked. Obviously, the competition wasn't great, but he cooked. He's very direct. He's very advanced, progressive, made things happen in the attacking third, did well in his own defensive third, covering up and keeping the ball. Linked up well with everybody involved, wing backs, midfielders, other striker, compagnon. Now, the only issue is, what do you do with him in the short term? In the long term, that guy has to play. Like, that guy's going to be a first team player. He already is, but he's going to like a starting 11 type player. What do you do in the short term with Matthias Suly? Is a loan the best way for him to progress and develop? I don't think so with the teams that are currently interested in him. I think it's best if he stays at Juventus, especially like if Sampdoria call, I'd say no. If who else was interested in him? A couple other teams are interested in him. If a team like Udinese says, yeah, we'll take him, I'll say, yeah, take him. If, like I said, Sampdoria say yes, I'll say no. If Spezia say I'll say no. It depends on the right fit. I just rather him stay, to be honest. It won't hurt. It won't hurt. Like, even if he gets limited minutes, he'll still be practicing with good players every day, and he can still go play with the youth team if he needs to. So this guy's already a first teamer. But if we go back, I'll name all the players we went through again because there was a lot: Barbieri, Baronachea, Hujsen, Illing Jr., Mbangula, Moretti, Nanga, Riccio, Suly. I think that's 9 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 players. And I haven't even mentioned, like, Fagioli's a little bit too old for this bracket. Excuse me. And there's still more players that are coming up in the pipeline. Like, there's Mulazzi. Even though I hate to say that. There's other players as well that are signing new deals. Let me know who you think will be a future first teamer for Juventus and who makes the starting 11 in the next 5 years. Obviously, Moretti's started games already, so you can consider him a starter. 1 out of 9. Can Junior become a starter in the future, like an everyday starter in the future? Can Suly? Can Mbangula? Can Baronachea? Can Barbieri? Hujsen? Nanga? Riccio? You let me know in the comments below. Again, it's tough because they're so young and there's so much competition now for places. But with the financial matters at Juventus on hand, we will have to look a different route to getting players in and replacing players going out. So again, let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay notified. Follow me at Giannotti151 on Twitter. Follow bianconerizone on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at bianconerizone. Follow Alejandro at AlejandroBZ on Twitter. Follow Justin Sofro at Justin Sofro. Again, Happy New Year. Stay safe if you're watching this before the New Year. Whatever you got to do, have fun. We'll see you in 2023. Who else is from the youth team is going to stand out in 2023? Who's the next guy that comes out? Let us know. Have a good one, guys. Ciao.